Hi Verbling, my name is Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about speaking prompts. So specifically, we'll be going over some IELTS techniques and how you can deal with that testing situation, but we'll also just be doing a lot of fun speaking prompts, and yeah, we'll have a lot of conversation as well. Ana Carolina, welcome to class.
Thank you.
Ana Carolina, have you ever taken a English test, a speaking English test?
No, I am planning to take one.
For what?
Because I want to be an English teacher online as a second job.
So what kind of test will you take for that? The certification test?
Yes, and also a test called my gosh, K K KT, I guess. Knowledge KTT, I guess. Knowledge teaching test. Something like that. There are some institutions that give this kind of test.
So you'll be taking two?
Yes. Maybe TOEIC or TOEFL, one of them.
Wow.
And then this one, the KTT test.
You have big plans.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Ana Carolina. Mariano, have you ever taken an English speaking test, or do you intend to at all in the future?
Nope, neither.
I just came for good conversation.
Yeah, I want to practice my English.
Yeah, it will be fun, even if you're not preparing for a test. This is something that everyone can do and kind of enjoy. It's spontaneous conversation and prompts to speak. So I'm glad you're with us.
All right. Yeah.
Wisla, have you ever taken a speaking test in English, or do you ever intend to?
No, never.
Never? You didn't learn English in school or anything?
No, I didn't learn English in school. I learned German.
Oh. So when did you start learning English?
Yes. Oh, no, yeah. 3 years, for 3 years.
Cool. Very cool. Lots of progress. Thanks, Wisla. Natasha, welcome to class.
Hello, it's good to see you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am fine, thank you for asking.
Have you ever taken a speaking test in English?
Yes, I've taken it and I passed on 6. I passed it on 6.
So you took the IELTS?
Yeah?
And was it stressful? What was your experience like?
First time it was really stressful, but then I don't know. It was a normal.
So you took it more than once?
Yeah.
That's a good plan. Everyone's scores go a little bit higher on the second time.
No.
No.
At the first and second time, I passed on 6 without something different.
Oh, the same test? You got the same score?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good score, though. You shouldn't be embarrassed about that.
Yeah, I tried to increase them, but I don't know. I obtained only 6, but it's good for me. 6 is nice score for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good score. Thanks, Natasha. Greg, have you ever taken an English test in the past, or do you intend to at all in the future for speaking?
So I took some like ISO level 1 or ISO level 2 exams in the past. I passed them, and later there is no actual alternative in the city where I live because there is no alternative preparation course to Cambridge exam, and so I decided to take the IELTS. And during the IELTS, I noticed there are some difficulties in areas of speaking that many things could be improved. So I resigned after 1 month of the preparation course.
All right. So you have quite a bit of experience. Do you find them stressful, Greg?
It's kind of stressful. It's not really because you try to put a lot of energy into the process of learning foreign language, and later you realize that in some areas you're not good enough, and that make me really angry in some cases when you just, you have. Didn't have a problem with too much problem with the writing, but reading was quite a tough experience because you have to be really fast, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something. In my case, it's not something what I can do easily.
All right, thanks, Greg. Ahmed, welcome to class.
Yeah, thank you. How are you, teacher?
I'm doing pretty well. Ahmed, have you ever taken a speaking test in English, or do you intend to at all in the future?
Yeah, I'm planning to get the IELTS exam in 6 months. And yeah, I have ever made many spoken English tests. And I think I did well. And yeah.
You've never taken it before then?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
And was it easy, stressful, hard?
Yeah, sure, I was nervous and stressed. But I remember that I have missed many vocabulary, and I forgot all the grammar that I have learned. But it's okay.
You were well prepared, though, overall?
Yeah.
All right. Did I ask everyone? Ken, did you tell us?
Not yet.
Oh, Ken, then go ahead. Tell us your experience in the past
Yes.
and what you intend for the future.
Yes, I took a lot of TOEIC exam and TOEFL exam, and in order to get a student visa in America, for America, I need to pass the requirement score from American grad school. But I failed a lot. I couldn't reach the score on paper-based test, TOEFL. At that time, it was available. Now, all computer, internet-based TOEFL is only available. And then I thought maybe paper-based TOEFL is not good for me because I don't have much time to think. So I went to Osaka to take CBT, kind of computer-based exam, and I took a lot of writing class at that time. And on CBT, writing is also evaluated, and less grammar corrections compared with PBT. So I very fast reached the score, and I could go to America. And TOEIC is just check my English ability, because TOEIC is not focused on the academic thing. And in my impression, the words and the expression in TOEIC is a very kind of not so difficult one. Maybe people in this class can deal with the vocabulary in TOEIC easily. I guess. I think. Yes.
I think so too. Thanks, Ken. And Wilson, welcome to class.
Okay, I'm here. Thank you.
Wilson, tell us a little bit about your test-taking experience. Have you ever taken a speaking test in English, or do you ever intend to in the future?
Oh yes, I took one. Okay, when I entered in my former company, they asked me to show how was my English, so I took a test. It was a very tough test. Okay.
Was it stressful?
Yes.
Were you speaking directly to a person?
No. Only listening and writing, and some writing too.
What was the hardest part?
It was listening, the listening and comprehension.
Yeah, that can be tricky.
Yes.
You only have a few seconds to memorize what they're saying.
Yes, and a lot of different accents. Okay. It was
really?
American, yes, American, British, and I think Australian.
Wow, that's hard.
Yes, it was a little bit difficult. That 3 years ago. Maybe now my English is a little better, okay?
And do you ever intend to take another test in the future?
No, no, not anymore. Only
Over
about,
it. Finished.
yes, finished, yes.
All right, thanks guys. So I'm going to screen share the notes now, and we're going to start. I'm going to time you guys on this using my handy dandy watch. So when we come up with a prompt, I'm going to ask everyone to speak for about 1 minute, and I'll give you maybe some warnings, like a 10-second warning, or if you don't have enough to say, I'll say, oh, you only have 15 seconds to go. So I'll give you some time warnings, but I want everyone to speak for about a minute, at least for the first one. All right, and what we're going to work on right now is a technique to help you think through your answers and give them clearly, as well as talk for longer, because sometimes what happens in a speaking test is your test taker will say, where are you from? And the person gives a one-word answer. Oh, I'm from Brazil, or whatever. When really they're frequently looking for a little bit more than that, a little more information. So we're going to practice using the PREP method. And let's have Wilson read that for us.
Okay, yeah, speaking technique. Use the PREP method. Start with P, make one sentence about your main point. Then give 2 or 3 sentences to provide R, a reason. Next, give E, an example. Describe the example using 2 or 3 sentences. Finish the repeating P, your main point, but use a different sentence. If you have extra time, give a second example.
Awesome. So you guys are going to try to talk for about a minute, and if you go through your first prep, your main point, your reason, your example, and restating your main point, and you still have like 30 seconds to go, you could start the whole process over, or you could give your main point and then several examples or several reasons, and then restate your main point. However you want to do it is fine. Or you can throw this out the window and just talk if you want to do that too, especially if you're not studying for any tests. Just do what you like, speak for a minute, and then we'll go on to the next person. Okay, Ahmed, will you go first and describe your favorite animal? So I have some tips for you down there. You need to say what it is, where it lives, what it eats, and why you like it.
Okay, I think my favorite animal is a dog. Dogs is an domestic animal and a pet, and I think many people love to possess this animal. It's a very friendly animal, and all people from all ages like this animal.
How come they like it so much?
Excuse me?
I said, what about a dog is so likable?
Because it's very friendly and love their owner and always obey the orders, and yeah, you can have a lot of fun with them, and even you can make the dog your best friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's what they say, isn't it? A dog is man's best friend.
Uh-huh.
Well,
you can.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying that you can make a dog your friend.
You already hit a minute. You're good. You spoke very well. Thank you, Ahmed. And I disagree. I don't know if all dogs obey orders. I've definitely known some dogs not to obey orders, but you're right. They're super cute. This is an opinion one, so we can have different opinions there. But thank you for your contribution, Ahmed. You spoke well and for more than a minute. And Ken, you're up next. Describe your favorite animal. Try to use the PREP method if you can and get in all those details, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. My favorite animal is also dogs. And because dog is loyal to humans, as a nature of dog used to be wolves, so they living as a group, so they are very loyal to their master if we tame them properly. And and they live everywhere on the earth, and they eat dog food here. They can eat some human foods, but some human food like onions harmful for them, or chocolate also harmful. So we need to be careful about that. Anyway, dog is a very kind of I love it. It's cute, and I love them. And one dog very I like to my former pet nowadays appear in the commercial, and I really like that commercial. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ken. Very well done. You hit just a little bit over a minute.
Thank you.
Ana Carolina, will you go next? Oh.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Okay, tell me when the time starts.
You can go ahead and start now.
My favorite animal is the parrot. I like dogs as well, but the parrots are special because they can talk, and they live in the southern hemisphere, in warm places such as the Amazon rainforest and so forth. Their diet consists of fruits, vegetables, seeds, but they also eat cookies, I know. And it is written on my bucket list to buy a parrot and to teach it to say, help, help, I was turned into a parrot. I think it would be really funny.
It would. They live a long time, though.
Yes, I think they live a long time and they are very smart. Once I read they have an intelligence that can be compared to a 5 years old child.
Wow.
So imagine a bird that can talk and say funny things and so forth. And if you want to say something that you cannot, you can teach a parrot and you won't be punished by that.
All right, you are about at 1 minute and 25 seconds. Thank you very much, Ana Carolina. Gregor, will you go next?
Yes, it will be about parrots too, because that's what I want to speak, but different parrots. Okay, should I start?
Go ahead. Yep.
So one of my favorite animals are parrots. I bought one of the first parrots when I was 11. The parrots that I'm talking about originally come from Australia. So they have one color, which is green. In domestic environment, we can see many colorful parrots that have different waves in the different colors. Usually we can feed them with millets, sometimes chips, carrots. So they can eat many different things, but also you have to think that they can just give them some vitamins. It's really, in some cases it could be really annoying to hear all the time the squawk because it's very noisy animals, but for the long run many people just love to be with them, observe the cage, but the process of cleaning the cage is not very nice.
All right, you're at 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Yep.
So that's good there. And I think parrots are cool, but yeah, they're super noisy. Super noisy.
Yeah, but I can say one thing. When I bought them when I was 11, and there were 2 of them in the cage, they wake me up every day. But later, the doorbell could wake me up, but not my parrots. So it is customizable process of to really customize to that you have noisy birds at the time you start to hear different sounds, but not your birds. It's like a magic.
Thanks, Gregor. All right, Mariano, you're up. You've got a minute to describe your favorite animal using prep and giving us all those details.
All right. I love cats because, first of all, I love felines in general, but cat is the only one that you can have as a pet. And I love them because you can play with them, but they don't bother like dogs that always want attention. So you can play with them when you have time. And I like them because you can give them just a can of tuna and they eat it. You don't have to. The options of food are easier than others. And what I don't like of cats, it's my favorite animal, but what I don't like it's the hair that cats left behind.
Yeah, definitely gets all over your clothes.
Yeah, I hate it. But
All
I
right,
love them.
a perfect minute. And I totally agree with all of your points. Cats are definitely my favorite animal. I think they're amazing. Their hair, if they shed a lot, it's a pain, especially if they're like all white or all black, because then it's really visible. But, you know, there are some sacrifices you need to make for companionship, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mariano. All right, Natasha, you're up. Give us your favorite animal in a minute.
Okay. I would like to talk about cats because they are really my favorite animals as well. I don't have my own cat because I have a little daughters, and I suppose that it's not be very well for them. But my sister has one of them, and he is our loved animal because I suppose that really cats are very clever animals, and they are very interesting because our own cat is selfish. So yes, but I think that he's very clever, and he always think about something looking at us. So he likes to drink milk and eat his special food with my sister. Buying a special store for animals, and well, my little daughter adore him really very well, and she always try to walk with him on street. But our cat really don't like it, and always try walk without her. But sometimes, yes, but sometimes it's very interesting. Has behavior like a dog because he tries to save us during our walking, and he it's always interesting for me because he tries to go a little bit like long, but always save some distance and looking at our working.
All right, so you're a little over a minute, but you gave us a lot of personal experience. Thanks, Natasha. I agree how great cats are. Wisla, you're up next. Give us your favorite animal in a minute. Wisla, are you there? I can't hear you, Wisla. I'll come back to you. Let's go to Wilson first, and Vislav, if you have any questions or need any help, let me know in the chat box. Wilson, would you like to go?
Okay, let's start. Okay, my favorite pet animal used to be dogs, but that was when I lived in a big house in the countryside. Now that I live in an apartment, my favorite animal are cats, more specifically female cats. Okay, they are because they are easy to keep in a small apartment, in small spaces. They peep and poop in the right place. That's very important. Yes. Nowadays I have two cats, two female cats. Okay, they eat food that I buy in a pet shop near my house, so it's easy to feed them. So cats are cute, cheap to maintain, easy to maintain to live in a small apartment, and mainly you don't have to walk them as dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get their own exercise.
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect minute.
Okay, it's over?
All right. Yep,
Okay.
that's it. I know the minute actually goes pretty quickly when you have all those things to say. The trouble is sometimes if someone says, what's your favorite animal, a person would just say animal, but it's good to add all these extra details. That gives us a lot of great info. So here's a suggested answer from an IELTS test, and it's a little bit color-coded. We'll go over what the colors mean after we read it, but this is a possible answer of the person using the prep method and giving all those details. So let's break it up and read it together. This first highlighted section will be for Ahmed. Can you read that for us?
Okay, I'm going to tell you about my pet cat, Montag. He's particularly a member of my family. I have always had a cat, and I suppose I'm slightly silly about them.
Thank you. Ken, this section?
Okay, he's just a common or garden cat, a moggy, not a special breed of or anything like that, though his coloring is rather special. He's always all white, but has a ginger tail and ginger ears and another patch on his body. What is ginger tail and ears?
Ginger can sometimes be a term for that light orangish color that you see.
Okay.
Especially on cats. Sometimes on humans too. You can say if a person's red-haired, you call them a ginger. And if you guys will notice, I'm just making a quick note here. Since this is a British English test, a lot of these words are spelled in the British English way, so my computer is going to be like, oh, you're spelling it wrong. But that's just as good a way. It's just British English, not American English. All right, Ana Carolina, will you read this section?
He looks as if he might be a pedigree cat, and some people have asked. But to was saying he's quite common, really. He's an inside cat. Too long, teacher.
What? Too long? This section is for Gregor.
I'd love to let him outside and roam, but we live fairly near a road, and it just isn't safe. It'd break my heart if anything happened to him. You know, if he was run over, you might laugh at this, but I do sometimes take him outside for a walk on a lead, just as you would with a dog.
Thank you very much, Gregor. Mariana, you are next. And do this section.
I don't take him out onto the road, just into the back garden so that he can chew on the grass. That's one of his great loves. What does he eat? Until very recently he only ate chicken.
Thanks. Next section, this one here. And it's for Natasha. Actually,
yeah. Our vet diagnosis him as being intolerant of any form of cat food. He was being sick all the time, so I used to cook chicken for him 3 times a day.
Thanks. And the rest of it, Wilson, go ahead and read it for us.
it started. It's
Right there.
but okay. But I'm pleased to say that he's now back on a regular diet, and as we've found a prescription cat food that he can tolerate. You want to know why I love him? It's hard to explain. He's just a member of the family now, and I love him just I would a person.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, guys. Questions on the vocabulary from this before we go over what the colors mean?
Moggy.
That, I believe, is a British term for a cat that's like a mutt, like a cat that doesn't... It's a mixed breed cat, not something that's like purebred anything. They might even say it. Yeah. It's an affectionate term for a non-pedigree cat.
Okay. One question.
Yeah.
What's the American spelling for coloring?
The American spelling is no U. It would be like this. And the word above as well, that was underlined, this one, also
Favorite.
no U.
Favorite.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions?
So how do Americans say Moggy? Like mixed breed?
I would say mutt, but I don't think they're exactly equivalent because the Moggy, the explanation they said, is an affectionate term for a non-pedigree cat. A pedigree cat is actually very fancy. It's a pure breed that comes with like a certification of its purity. So this just means any cat that is not a purebred certified cat. So that would be like a house cat too. We have the term mutt, but that mostly just refers to the fact that it is mixed, not that, like, of course you cannot have a mutt that is a pedigree, but I think it's like a little less, it's almost meaner. A Moggy is just any cat that's not a pedigree cat, but a mutt is really like a mixed breed, almost like, I don't know what that cat is. It's half something and half something else. It's a little more mysterious, I guess. But yeah, we don't really have a good term just like they do. All right, let's go over these notes. We have some colors here. Question?
Yes.
What's that?
What does Rowan mean?
Which word?
Rowan?
Where is it?
I typed it. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's the noise made by the cats.
Oh, roam. No,
Roam.
roam is the kind of a kind of motion where they walk around without a lot of direction. It's like going over long spans just for fun, not necessarily for any particular purpose. Like, we talk a lot about how animals roam the forest, like they wander around the forest a lot. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. What is the noise they make? Because he thought it was the noise.
Meow?
No, the other one. When
What?
the cats.
Yes?
They
Meow,
no
meow.
no, not this one. When you pet them, they
Purr.
Yeah.
Purr.
Or
That happy noise they make. All right. That's a funny. Actually, I used to do a class just on animal noises and stuff, and it was pretty funny. I don't know how useful it is, but it was a funny class. Any other questions?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you pronounce the short of It would break my heart? I can pronounce it.
Oh, it'd break my heart.
It'd
I know it's kind of weird, but it did.
it'd break my heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks. It'd.
That's actually a really good question. That's a tough one to say.
Yes.
And I've got one more question in the chat box. No, you can't say I was roaming to think about, well, I guess it's kind of weird if you say that, because roaming usually has its own purpose or something. Like, you can say I was wandering around thinking about my life, or you can say I was roaming around thinking about my life, but it's weird to say that you were roaming for the purpose of your life, or for the purpose of thinking about your life. Kind of odd. No, yeah, humans can do it too. Humans can roam. When I think of a human that roams, I think of like really long distances though. This is not like you go for a walk. You could say you're roaming around your neighborhood, meaning that like you are covering long distances, maybe with no particular pattern around the area of your neighborhood. But yeah, these are longer distances, not just like going for a quick jaunt down the block or something. Oh yeah, and when your cell phone is roaming, that's a great example. When it's roaming, it means it's in an area that isn't covered. So you've gone too far outside of your normal area and you will pay different prices because you've traveled a long distance. Anything else, guys, from this section?
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Then, oh yeah, question?
Just one more. It is a, in this case, is each word, but can we use this contraction each head?
Yes, same thing. It had broken down before I got there. It had broken down before I got there. It had broken down before I got there.
I'd better be. I think it's the D is for head.
Yeah, exactly. I'd better be, or it'd better be good.
I'd better be flying.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to talking a little bit about the colors here. Ahmed, read the first section that tells us about red. This part here. Ahmed, are you there?
Hello, sorry.
Hello, go ahead and read.
The topic words. I have marked the topic words in red. There is a few of them, but they aren't complex. Mogi is an affectionate term for a non-pedigree cat. It does only work for cats.
Thanks. Making it personal, the blue section. Ken, will you read it?
Okay, this is a very personal answer, and aren't you should see that I use personal pronouns all the way through. I talked about how I feel, and I also talk to the examiner.
Awesome, thanks. And the green section is for Ana Carolina.
Spoken idiom and qualifying words. Idiom is tough to learn and you should be careful about overusing it. The words in green are quite simple, but they do help. See, I cannot see. Okay, sorry. See how I use it fairly, practically, and rather. A small thing done well that helps the way you sound.
All right, excellent. So you can look back at all of those and check that out. It's a good way to organize your thoughts, especially if you're taking a test. And we're going to move down. We've got one more hint, which should be pretty obvious, especially for this kind of setting where we're all sort of informal. And I'll read this section. It's pretty quick, and you guys have already sort of heard of it before. The idea is just this. Don't speak at the examiner, speak to them. What do I mean by this? Take a look at all these phrases below. They all have something in common. if you see what I mean, I was saying to you before, I'm not sure how I can explain this to you. You might not understand this, but so they're talking to the examiner, making it a lot more intimate and yeah, relatable, I guess. So as we go over the next one, you guys can go ahead and try that. Try speaking to someone. It sounds a little less formal, but that's okay in a lot of circumstances. In most speaking tests, it doesn't have to be really formal. And this is our next prompt. This time I'm going to go from the right to the left. And it's going to be about the same thing. We're going to try, this time you guys can have 1 minute and 30 seconds, since most of you went a little bit over the last time. But try and keep it to 1 minute and 30 seconds. So a house or apartment. Talk about a house or apartment you would like to live in. You should say what it would look like, how big it would be, where it would be located, and explain why you would like to live there, and keep the prep tip in mind. Give us main points, reasons, examples, and then restate your main point, starting with Wilson. Will you go first? You've got 1 minute and 30 seconds, and you can start whenever you like.
Okay. I would to live in an apartment because I live in a big city, and I think house is not a safer place to live in a big city. The apartment should not be very big because the cost of maintenance, I need to keep the cost small, so I would like a small apartment. Should be located in a central area because I work downtown, and not to waste time in commuting. I think should be in the central area. And I would like to live there because it's very practical. Okay, if it's easy to clean, it's easy to maintain. You don't need to pay someone to clean it. It's just a matter of doing by yourself.
Very
Okay.
true. Yeah, you hit just about 1 minute. Thank you very much, Wilson. And I agree, there are a lot of advantages to living in an apartment in the city. Natasha, how about you? Give us your answer to this one in about 1 minute or 1 minute and 30, somewhere between there.
I can say now. Okay. I would like to live in the countryside in my own house because I suppose that in this case I and my family, I mean members of my family, will have a more space for their own deals, and in this case we can have not only our common rooms, but common rooms, but also our own rooms. It's very important I mean that it's a really good way for serving sovereign freedom sometimes. Also, I would like to have not a big, really big house. I hate huge houses because I suppose that they are not comfortable. And it would be better to have maybe only 2-second houses for maybe 7, maybe 3 bedrooms houses. I suppose that it's more cozy. So in this case, I wish to have our own house in countryside, but not so far from a big city, because in this case we will have a good community and opportunity to have a good work and really very nice schools as well. So I suppose that for families, living in our houses is the best way for supporting their relationship and health.
Sounds very nice, Natasha. You went a bit over. It was about 2 minutes, but you gave a very complete answer. Thanks, Natasha.
Thanks.
Mariano, go next.
All right. I would like to live in an apartment located in Manhattan, New York City, and I would like it to have a minimalist style with minimalist furniture, and I would like it to be at the top of a building because in that way I can see all the city.
The penthouse?
Yeah, a penthouse. And why New York? Because it's the city that never sleeps, and always there are concerts and interesting things, cultural things, and that's all.
Sounds very fun, but very expensive.
Yeah, but it's good.
Very true. Yeah, it sounds like it would be great. I don't think I'd ever be able to afford it, but it sounds like a beautiful life. Thanks, Mariano. You were just about a minute.
All right.
And Greg, you're up next. Go ahead.
One of my dreams is to have a chance to live in the house, which consists of several spacious rooms with the big bathroom and a bit larger kitchen, which will be surrounded by the trees and to have a big, actually quite a huge garden surrounded by around the house. And I also want to say that it will be great if it will be located in the neighborhood. Well, won't be far away from the city, but it won't be one of those noisy neighborhoods which it's not always clean. But
like suburbs?
Yeah, one of them. I guess, and it will be a place. If it will be a place of my dreams, it will be. I believe it will be also a place where I can just focus on to rest after work and focus on my passion, hobbies, or something much more creative, or maybe on just simple chores around the house, which give me some thoughts about my life.
Sounds great. Thanks, Gregor. You were at a little bit over, let's see, a minute and 20 seconds. Thanks. Yeah. Ana Carolina, tell us about your house or apartment, your dream house or apartment.
Okay. My husband and I finally bought the house we were looking for, and it is almost my dream house because it is huge. It's in a nice place. I have a pool. I have 5 bedrooms and a master suite with a walk-in closet, and I really like it. But if I could make some repairs, it would be even better. And if I would put my house in a bit bigger city, it would be even better. Because I like living here a lot. It's by the ocean. We have 365 islands. And my house is nice, but we don't have a lot of entertainment options. We just have 2 malls and 2 movie theaters in my town.
Oh, and that's pretty good.
Yes, and also there are some stuff that if I had money, I'd like to change here. Like the facade, it's a little bit old-fashioned. It's nice, but if I could, I would change a bit and
upgrade a little bit.
Yes, I'd like to upgrade a little bit and change the furniture. Not all of them, but some stuff, some floors.
All right. Thank you very much, Ana Carolina. You went a little bit over, but perfect. Perfect timing. Ken, will you go next?
Okay. My dream house would be in close to the ocean, and it's a bit high, hilly area, and it should be the little cozy house, and the color of house is white, and I need some maybe combination of Japanese style and Western style room. And living room should be Japanese style because I grew up with that style. I'm familiar with that. And the bathroom and toilet should be separated because that's the usual style. I'm very familiar with such style of bathroom or toilet. And location is maybe not far away from the urban area, not too close to urban area. It's a kind of cozy suburban area at the sea. And I like, and the house has a big window to see the beautiful sea view. So in such a way, I can relax, and I have I have one bedroom and one, how can I say, den to study or to reading a book or something like that. That is my dream house.
Perfect. That was a wonderful description. Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's look at, we've got a few minutes left. We're going to look at the sample answer. And first section, we're going to try and go through this quickly, so hold all your questions until after we've read. Wilson, will you do the first section?
Okay. Just to read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Where would one I okay, it's difficult. Where would one I like to live? Well, I suppose first of all I'd prefer to live in a house rather than an apartment, and in many ways my ideal house would be the house where my mother lives. Okay.
Thank you very much. Natasha, next section.
It's quite a large house. It's a 4-bedroom house, but in another sense, it's actually quite. I'm sorry. Yes. Actually quite a small house in that all the rooms inside are quite small and quite intimate, and in fact it's 2 cottages which have been converted into one larger house. So
Thank you
when
very much.
Oh, sorry.
And the next section is from Mariano, right here.
So when you look at it, it looks quite strange. You see four I don't know, chimneys?
Chimneys?
Chimneys? Okay. You see 4 chimneys from the outside and lots of very strange angles. Another part about that house which I love is that it isn't in the countryside, and it's got a great garden with lawns and flower beds and shrubs. Okay.
Thank you very much. And the last 2 sentences of this paragraph and the first 2 sentences of the next, Gregor, will you read it for us?
Yes. Everything my mother's professional gardening. In fact, it looks like a picture postcard because of her efforts. It will be ideal for me to live there because it is in the countryside, but not in the middle of nowhere. So when I am there, I like to get up in the morning, look out of the window, see the horses in the field, and feel that I've escaped the hustle and the hustle of the city. But as I said, I wouldn't want. Yeah.
So the rest will be for our next reader, Ana Carolina.
But as I say, I wouldn't want my dream home to be in the middle of nowhere, because I'd like to commute to the city, because I enjoy being around people, and it is just easier or more convenient to work in a city. So I'd need to be living somewhere which was close enough to a city that I could commute. Teacher, what does shrubs mean?
Shrubs is a small kind of plant, usually a bush, but could be smaller than a bush too. Has like little leaves and it grows from the ground, not like a tree where it has a trunk, and not like flowers where they have stalks, but just kind of like wild branches and little flowers, or little leaves and flowers sometimes. Any other questions on this section? No vocabulary questions here? Really? What about chimneys? What's a chimney?
Okay, chimney.
Did you have another question?
Yes. Just to make sure I understand the meaning of commute, is to go from home to work, to office?
Yeah, your commute is the entire trip from your house to work and back
House
again.
to work. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. I'm going to close this one so I can start my last one, which is on idioms. And I'll see you guys there, or I'll see you again another time. Thanks a lot, guys.
I see you there.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.